Hey there, this is Patrice Washington from patricewashington.com, where we chase purpose, not money. So today I want to talk to you about how to make every single goal that you've set actually stick. But before I do, I want to remind you to subscribe so that each and every time a new video comes out, you are the first to know. Okay, so here's the deal. I know that a lot of people are out here saying, new year, new me. But I want to be the one to tell you that it's actually a new year in the same you, because it doesn't matter that we've crossed into a whole new year. If you haven't committed to changing some things in your life, you're going to get the exact same results. And I actually want you to be one of those people who actually sets a New Year's resolution on January 1st, but then actually gets to have the victory of getting the result on December 31st. And to do that, that means you have to incorporate some new behaviors, maybe some new mindsets, some new habits. But I want to teach you 3 that I use to help make sure that every goal that I set actually sticks. So the first thing is you have to remove the need for other people's opinions. This is a time for you to set a goal that actually matters to you. It can't be based on what your mom thinks you should do, and you can't set a goal because such and such is doing it and it sounds good or it looks good, because actually achieving your goal takes a lot of discipline, it takes a lot of focus, and it might take a lot of sacrifice. Yes, you might have some sleepless nights, you might have to be uncomfortable, but if it's only based on what other people think, whether that's good or bad, then you're not going to do what it takes to actually get there. So I want to remind you that if you have a vision, if you have a big goal that you feel like God has led you to, you cannot depend on the validation or permission from anyone else if you're going to see that vision through. Now, number 2 is that visuals actually do make a difference. So you already know me by now, and you know that I am the queen of vision boards. I was actually using vision boards way back in 3rd grade, before the Law of Attraction movie came out and before vision boards became a big thing. I've always been really motivated by keeping some type of visual representation up around me so that I can stay really laser focused in on what I want. Now, you may not be into vision boards, and that's okay. Maybe you can do what I call a dream journal. You know, write out your goals on one side of the page, and then on the other side, just put a few pictures that represent that. You might not want to have it posted all over the wall, but maybe having it close to you works. Or you might want to just save some pictures on your smartphone so that whenever you get tempted to waste time on social media or to transfer money from your savings that you know you shouldn't, you can check in with that goal on your screensaver and have that as a visual representation. Another thing that I love to do just to have a visual representation of what I say I want, if it has to do with dollars or percentages or maybe books sold, or maybe I want to track how many downloads I get on my podcast, I draw on a big piece of paper a thermometer. Yeah, the old school thermometer with the little bulb at the bottom. And I put what the milestones are, and then I just shade it in as I go. And I usually keep that on my desk or in the wall in my office, but just something that visually helps me see that I'm making progress on my goal. Because every time I shade it in, I get that feeling of excitement. I get that head nod to myself like, yes, you are doing it. And I can encourage myself to just keep going. And the other thing I really, really like about having the visual representation is that it allows me to set my calendar based on what I see in front of me. See, a lot of times we get really caught up. We might set a goal in the beginning of the year, but then before we know it, because we get swayed by other people's opinions, we find ourselves getting really busy doing a lot of things that don't serve or support us. So we get through a quarter, we get through half the year, and we've run ourselves ragged, but when we look up, we're no closer to getting the result that we really want to get. And so I use the vision board, I use the dream journal, I use the pictures on my smartphone, I even use that thermometer to make sure that when I am setting appointments or setting to-dos on my calendar, that these are actually things that line up with that vision I have for myself. Because if they don't, then I'm being busy, but I'm not being productive. And the third thing that I do that I really think helps me stick to my goals is that I keep the vision big, but I make my goals quarterly. Now, you might have heard me talk before about Parkinson's law, And Parkinson's law essentially says that whatever time we give ourselves to get something done is the time it's going to take. And I noticed that a lot of people who make New Year's resolutions give themselves all year to get one simple thing done. But if it takes 21 days to break a habit or 21 days to set a new habit, why would it take you 365 days to accomplish that thing that you really want? Now, I'm not saying that everyone can get what they want in less than a month, but maybe in 90 days you can. And what if you got laser focused and only gave yourself that much time? Now, of course, there's going to be some stuff that you just can't get done in 90 days, and I get it. But what if you looked at the entire goal? Let's say you want to save $10,000, which is a challenge, and it might be overwhelming because you've never saved any money in your life. Instead of being overwhelmed by this $10,000 goal for the year, why don't we scale it back and say, let's save $2,500 by March 31st? And that means we have 12 weeks to get there, and break it down even further. That means I need to save $208 a week. Now that sounds so much more manageable based on where you are, because this is your goal. But it also gives you a framework for how you can actually get there. Because now you can think about, what are the unnecessary things I spend money on every week that can help me get to the $208 I need? Or do I have a gift or a talent or a skill that I could actually create a little side hustle out of and make another $200 or $208 to be exact each week? When you look at it in the bite-sized pieces, it's so much easier to do. And then you piece it all together, and before you know it, you've set a resolution in the beginning of the year, but you'll actually have the result at the end. And it was all because you made the smart choice to break it down into bite-sized pieces. So that's what I do to stick to my goals. But now I want to hear from you. What's one thing that you can do immediately to help yourself actually stick to your goals this year and make them happen? Is it maybe add a visual? Is it break it down? Or is it just remind yourself that you have the right to see your vision all the way through, and you don't need anyone else's approval to do it? It's really important that I hear from you, because we're building a community of women who want to grow with me. That means you want to live your life's purpose, find fulfillment, and earn more without ever chasing money. Now, if you want to learn more about how you can get results and not simply make resolutions in 2018, then I invite you to check the Redefining Wealth podcast with Patrice Washington, because I have a 6-part series with a bunch of phenomenal people: Brandy Harvey, Egypt Sherrod, Paul Brunson, Wynn Claybaugh, and more, who are going to help you get the results you're looking for in every area of your life. So tune in at patricewashington.com or on iTunes, Google Play, or wherever your podcast preference is.